Hello, friends. Greetings. This is Pastor Wilson wanting to give our Cornerstone family and friends a weekly update, especially as this Sunday we welcome people back to corporate worship for the first time in about 12 weeks. Thanks to everyone who filled out the online survey. All the data that we were able to gather from that was very helpful and is helping us make plans and preparations for this Sunday, as we will, for the first time ever, have two worship services on a normal Sunday. We'll have a 9 a.m. worship service and a 10:45 a.m. worship service. Each service will be exactly the same. They'll be about an hour in length. We'll be streaming both services, and so you can catch those online at 9 a.m. or 10:45 a.m. And we also have two worship spaces. We have this space, the sanctuary, where we normally worship, where we've been able to get a little over 300 people in here before. We've pulled out a lot of chairs. We're marking off some of the rows, and we're going to do everything we can in this space and in the fellowship hall, where we've created a second additional space to allow people to spread out and have good social distancing measures in place as we gather back for worship. We want to ask you to take personal responsibility, you and your family, to practice social distancing this Sunday as best that you possibly can. At the end of each service, we will close with the doxology and the benediction. At that time, I will ask you to please leave quietly. We'll exit out the rear of each of our worship spaces. If you would like to fellowship with your friends that you haven't seen in quite some time, we'll have a space available outside on the old Big Cove Road side of our building so that you can stand under the covering that's out there. There'll be some parking lot spaces that will be blocked off, and it'll just be a chance outside for you to visit with folks, and that way our deacons and our staff can get ready for another group of people to come and to join us after the first service. And so we'll need that time to clean and make preparations for everybody to come. Parents, we're asking that you would please keep your children with you during this time, as there will not be any space in the building to allow anybody to roam as we have to, again, move everyone outside and get ready. You need to know that our officers are checking the data that's coming out on the COVID virus almost daily. We've been very blessed in our community to have very few cases of COVID-19 compared to other cities and other communities in our state and around our country. And of course, that is influencing our decision to go ahead and have corporate worship right now. And so today, we feel comfortable welcoming people back to church this Sunday, but know that daily we're checking the statistics. Our doctors are keeping us informed, and we want to do what is safe for all of our people. The session wants everyone to be clear and to know that if you do not feel comfortable coming to church, if you have underlying health conditions, to please stay home. We are going to continue to live stream our worship services, and that will continue to be a way that you can participate and join in with your church family. So please do not feel the pressure to come right away. You take the time that you and your family need to be able to come back. I also want to ask that if you or anyone in your household is experiencing or exhibiting any symptoms related to this virus or other sicknesses, that you would stay home out of the safety and welfare of others. There's been a lot of discussions about masks. Should we wear them and should we not? And it's going to be our position right now that masks are welcome, gloves are welcome. You'll see some people with these items and some people without these items. We have a couple of guiding principles that we are following that we feel like are the reasons why we're not requiring face masks or face coverings. The first is we didn't actually believe that we could enforce that. We can't personally make you wear anything you don't want to wear. Second thing is we didn't want to turn anyone away. At this time, we don't want to turn anyone away from coming in to worship and to fellowship with us during this time. So if you are not comfortable that there will not be a requirement for mask, please stay home. But I think the session wants to be most clear here about coming back to worship or face mask or anything like that. We don't want to bind anyone's conscience. And we also want to be mindful of just loving our neighbor. And we're going to have to practice that right now in a big way, as unfortunately, there's a lot of division being created over the coronavirus. Included with the note that's going to go out with this update video is an article from the Gospel Coalition encouraging churches not to let the coronavirus divide us during this time. Could I ask you to take the time to read it and to heed some of that pastoral instruction there? I think it would just be very, very helpful to us as we seek to unite and pray and encourage one another during this time. Just a word of encouragement as we prepare to gather back together, as we begin to get out of our isolated spaces and see other people. There's some great encouragement from God's Word for us from Hebrews chapter 10, where the writer says, "And let us consider how we may stir one another up to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as it is the habit of some, but encouraging one another all the more as we see the day approaching, the day of the Lord coming near." It is my prayer that as we begin to gather back together, that we will be thankful for assembling together as God's people, that we will pray for those who are not ready to come out yet, and that we will love, serve, and encourage one another as God has called us. God bless you. See you soon.